Look, guys, I'm just trying to stay sane here. Hey, it's Nikki. So, if you watched the last video, you now know that I have been unemployed, funemployed for the past year now. Woo! But if you're new here, my name's Nikki. I was, a tax accountant, now turned who knows what, to be honest. Just trying to figure things out, and I'm doing it here on YouTube finally. So, let's get into it. This is what I like to call my unemployment survival guide, because now that I've been doing this for a year now, and I've been surviving it, we can now make it, I can call it a guide, right? Right. And really, this is just how I've managed to stay kind of sane during this time. This includes not giving in and just finding the first job that went into my inbox, or throwing my hands up and playing games all day. So I have been trying to keep this time productive, even if it wasn't doing what I originally intended to do completely. But I don't feel like I've wasted my whole past year. So, just a few things I've done just to keep me sane since I've quit my job and start this whole journey here. I don't know who this would actually help, to be honest. I think that it's a very small subset of people that would actually quit their 9 to 5 without having any sort of backup. But with that said, I feel like these things I have done, if I had also done them when I was doing my 9 to 5 and just kind of taking care of myself more, making clear boundaries, maybe I wouldn't have burnt out so quickly. That's what I'm guessing. So, in general, maybe they're just good tips. I don't know. But this is what I found out in the past year. Kind of has worked for me. Honestly, I enjoy it. So let's get into it. First thing that I do, journaling. I know, sounds a little cliche, but hear me out, okay? It's not just any kind of journaling. It's not, oh, this is what I did say, this is what I'm feeling. It's more curated lines of thoughts. And this has grown over time. It used to start off with just like tell a little story, or what do I want to accomplish today, right? Then it became a gratitude journal for a little bit, and then now it's kind of a combination of everything. It's there to keep my mind on track. It's there to make sure I remember and give myself a goal every day. But since it is a journal, I do expect these things to change. So I keep the questions pretty open. And I'll show you what I've actually kept as my prompts for the past, let's say like 6-7 months now. This is where I'm journaling currently. It's in Notion. I love this program so much. That can be a whole nother video on its own. But my life is pretty much in Notion now, or at least my brain. My thoughts are all in Notion. And it's been a wonderful thing. Honestly, if you think in a very methodical way, I feel like Notion could also work for you. Once again, a whole different video. Anyways, here's my journaling. It's nothing fancy, right? It's not girly. It's literally just a table, and I don't even change up the names. It just says today's reflection on there. I'm filming this on the 21st, so this is today's. It's actually blank today. I figured I can just do one as I film this. But the dates lately have been kind of sporadic because my life has been kind of crazy, and I actually have a secondary journal within Notion I've been kind of filling out a little more often. So I haven't been doing this one. And this one specifically has been when I'm really hitting my entrepreneur stuff hard. This is today's reflection. Sometimes I'll put a tag in to say thoughts, because at the bottom I might have extra additional thoughts just that I want to put down on paper to keep in mind, to get out of my brain, to just kind of word vomit somewhere. So sometimes there are thoughts there. You can see here, you're right, thoughts. It's far and few between. This has gone back quite a bit. You can see it started off with my day, which is kind of generic. And then I went, you know what, today's reflection, because it's not quite, I don't really care what I did that day. I care more about my mindset and where I am emotionally that day, right? Anyways, October 21st. I'm filming this at least. My first prompt is the story-worthy moment. What is a story-worthy moment from today? What could you write a short story about? So this is usually where I would put anything interesting that happened. I try to make it a point to kind of work on my storytelling skills. And I think that's just because people are able to obtain information better, soak information more if there's a story attached to it. At least that's the way I am. If you're going to tell me a really interesting story about a guy at the beach and the whole point of it was to not drink salt water, you could tell me, hey, just don't drink the salt water, or you can tell me this horrible thing that happened to the guy at the beach. I'll probably remember the story more than you just telling me, hey, just don't drink the salt water. This, I try not to skip a lot, and other times I just simple. So today, I don't know, I try to do something interesting, but sometimes it can be the most boring thing in the world. Like, so this is probably, I haven't written one of these storyboard moments in a little while, okay? Usually it's about the dogs. It's about my time if I go around, run out for an errand, or if I found something particularly cool in my book, I'll put it in this. But today was kind of everywhere. So this is what you get me eating my dragon fruit that is kind of random, I know. This, honestly, this whole little part's random. It's just there for me to kind of remember a little snippet of my day and try to make it interesting. My story-worthy moment for today is, it looked great. What looked good? Or, it looked good. What looked good? The dragon fruit on the counter. Should I eat it? Probably not. Took a knife to it anyways. Cut it into pieces on top of a plate. Ooh, that was a bad idea. Should have been a cutting board. Was not a cutting board. Might have dulled out the knife, but dang, that fruit was good. Worth it, but should have taken the extra time to take out the cutting board. Was it really a story-worthy moment? Not really. Let's be real here. What did I learn from this? Please use a cutting board. Don't be like me and cut your fruit on your plate and then it's not as satisfying as just using a cutting board, but I don't want to have to do extra dishes. So there's that. That's my story-worthy moment. Let's keep on going. Gratitude. This is a big one that I always feel 3 in for, because there's always something to be grateful for in your day. And once again, this is just to keep my spirits up, make sure I'm not spiraling down some sort of negative wormhole anywhere, because I have a lot in my life to be grateful for, and I don't want to ever lose sight of that, right? So, gratitude, what are 3 things you feel grateful for today, and what was nice? So for today, it's being able to let the dogs out. That's 1. Easily. Man, they look so happy. Number 2 is having a fridge full of food. Honestly, this is the best. So we meal prepped correctly this week. So our fridge is full of different kinds of food that I can just heat up and eat. And it's super, super easy. And then let's see, what else is there? Oh, having my old streaming equipment. This video is a little bit late because my current camera, or not my current, my old camera was just not dealing with me at all. And I thought I couldn't do a video at all. But I've remembered that I had in my old Logitech in storage. So we're back to using a slightly old camera. Still decent quality though, so I'm okay with it. And you know what's even better? It works well. I'm really glad I saw my old equipment and that I did actually opt out for some nice things in the past that I can still use now. Yay. This is why you buy quality things. All right. That's my 3 that I'm grateful for today. They're usually super simple. Sometimes they're kind of dumb. Sometimes they're like actually pretty good. Whatever. There's something there. Focus. What are my dreams? Goals? Ooh, this changes a lot. So now it's just to get through the year. Really? Get through the year. Be happy. Be financially secure. That's honestly what it is. Most of the time, this has to do with something for myself, job related, entrepreneur related. This is usually where it goes for me. I have this section because it changes a lot based on where I'm at in my project. What do I need to let go of in order to accomplish my dreams and goals? Oftentimes, it's something I'm trying to work on, right? It's procrastination is usually a big one, but really my mentality that I can do it all alone, because I don't think I can or should, but at the same time, I want to be that one person band. I want to be able to wear all the hats and do everything. I don't want to outsource anything because I feel like I can do it. And I think if I want to really accomplish my goals, I need to find a team. I need to find help somewhere. And that's something I'm working on. But I also feel like I can grow into that. So it is something I do need to work on, but it's there. It's a work in progress. What am I open to receiving? Community of like-minded people, because then I won't be doing it alone. And this path wouldn't be so lonely. And then what is the one thing? This is left very vague for a reason. A lot of times I remember writing financial security or just mental well-being, but really it's I feel like more times than not it's also just happiness and control of my time. Because if I've learned anything, it's having control of your own time is really, really worth it. It's really what I'm striving to do. It's why I don't want to be at a 9 to 5 job, because then I don't have control of my time. And I've lost 8, 9 hours, 10 hours of my day through building someone else's dream. So, happiness. And that comes out of control of my own time. And then here are my thoughts, some thoughts in my mind, things I think about and things I question. Usually this section is left empty for me, but I leave it here just in case I have anything I want to jot down. Let's just try, this video might be a little rough. Okay. This whole prompt usually takes me about 5 to 10 minutes a day. I was doing very, very well with doing it every day, and now I've kind of slacked off a little bit. I like having this record. I wonder if there's anything interesting in my past ones. So, we have some in May. It looks like I was doing this pretty consistently in April. Okay, let's try May 3rd. Yeah? Once again, no story-worthy moment, but here, gratitude. Being relatively, spelled wrong, stress-free, which is crazy that I can write that, because based on how much stress I was having while working my 9 to 5 public accounting job, yeah, right now is stress-free, even if I am fun employed. Being able to look at the houses and be a step closer to being part of that dream. And then my husband for cleaning, taking care of me. Which, for someone being unemployed and the person that works still cleans and takes care of me, crazy. And I'm grateful. I really am. It makes me feel a little bit like a princess and a little spoiled. A lot of spoiled. Focus. What are my dreams? Making income passively. I feel like that's everyone's dream, but really, that really is the dream. I really want to make income passively. But you gotta work to get there. Then we hit like think. What do I need to let go of in order to accomplish my dreams and goals? Procrastination. Told you. What am I open to receiving? A driver to drive me into success. A coach. A group of friends to propel me along. And what's the one thing? Being me. Doing what I think is right. And I like that. That's kind of what I go through with journaling. It's really cool to have and be able to kind of look back on, see where my island has kind of gone from, my train of thoughts at any given point of time. But it's more worth it for me to just get it out of my brain and feel like I have an outlet somewhere to put it. So I don't have to burden anyone else with this knowledge and my venting. It's in a safe space. So would recommend this. I have a paper journal as well. I used to write in it quite often, but I find that my handwriting gets more and more sloppy and harder to read as time goes by. No surprise there. Plus, these hand muscles do not have strength to keep up writing for a long time anymore. So I do it less now and more within a typing realm, even though I'm a little scared that one day it's just gonna poof into thin air and I'll lose all the data. So I do enjoy paper journaling every now and then. I used to do a daily to-do list in like a paper format. I switched digital now. I'll probably go back eventually. I like to switch things up a crazy amount for like to-do lists and whatnot. Something easy for that moment in time for me. And you find what works out for you throughout the years. Change it up. Gotta make things interesting. Can't stay the same all the time, right? I mean, you could, but who really does? That's it for journaling. The second thing that I found that keeps me sane throughout this process is splitting up downtime and work time. I think people call them boundaries. Who knew? didn't really have in my public accounting days. Yeah, I was always kind of on work. My mind was always about work 24/7. I was able to be reached just through a IM message, a Teams message, a call, a text, any time of the day. And when I mean any time of the day, I meant US time and India time. So it was really any time of the day. But it's easy to kind of fall into either you're working a ton and you're working nonstop, or you're just not working at all. And I find myself sitting on the couch and vegetating. Either or, either's not really great, right? You don't want too much of one, don't want too much of the other. I honestly blame accounting for just I forgot what a good work-life balance looked like. And I don't want my life to be all about work. At least not work in a corporation for someone else. Because then I feel like I was living my life for someone else. And that's sad. Now I make sure to keep downtime and work time separate. I do this in the various ways, right? You just keep a few hours as work. Make sure you take breaks. 30 minutes here, an hour here. It is kind of what it seems like. I feel like even just spending some time to do my groceries or chores around the house counts as a break and well worth it because I feel still very productive. Although lately, I can say that it's been a pretty good separation in work and play for me. It's been a good separation because when the husband's away to actually work his daytime job, I make sure to not play any games and spend this time to either do work, research, read, or even really just clean and take care of things around the house. So on the days where he's off, I can have fun. I can spend 3 hours in front of the TV binging a new show or playing a game, and it's just more enjoyable to be able to use my time much differently than I had before, which is now spend time with the people you enjoy spending time with and you work when you have to work. Downtime versus work time, that it's kept me sane. I am not a workaholic now. I think people call it like a cozy entrepreneur. And I feel like I'm being a little too cozy, but I have to start somewhere. So give me a little bit of slack. All right. Anyways, the third and last thing that's kept me sane through all this is just always learning. And a big part of me quitting my job was to kind of work on my skills, branch out, and just do something different. Spend this, what I kind of call a gap year, and working to really see what I can do outside of this 9-to-5 realm. The big reason why I did this was to keep challenging myself, right? I wanted to make sure I felt different and that I could make a difference somewhere. So here we are. I've spent a ton of time reading new books, expanding my horizons, just researching new things, new industries. Honestly, the current book I'm reading is Psychology of Money, which is pretty classic, but I've never read it before. Currently about 2/3 of the way in. Nothing crazy in there that's like revolutionary, right? But with that said, it's kind of nice to see the same like mindset, the same topics pop up. What you kind of expect to be in the book is in there, just from a different perspective or with a different story. Would recommend so far. I'm not quite done with the book yet though. But things like that where I take a lot of joy in just picking up a new book and learning something, even if it's not the greatest book or the longest, or even if it's not a business book and it's a fantasy book. It's enjoyable either way. You're learning something, you're getting something out of it, and that probably is one of the best things that's kept me sane. Also, YouTube videos, being able to kind of go down the rabbit hole and see everyone's journeys, what they've learned. It's been really, really cool. And a lot of interviews that I've watched has been awesome just to kind of pick up and soak in more knowledge. I can say though that the one thing I've been dragging my feet on is video editing, which is why there's so little editing involved in these videos because it's hard. Props to anyone who can edit videos very well. It's a whole different skill, and although I feel like I will get better and I will gain some sort of skill in it eventually if I keep going at it. There is just a ton of things to learn, and it has kept me on my toes and Googling, and it's quite fun. But yeah, that's pretty much that's my three things that have kind of kept me sane during this unemployment time, and I feel like I can bring it into the workplace again if I feel like going back to corporate, or if I actually am able to get a business off the ground and running, then just keep me in check to make sure I'm not becoming overworked again and I'm right back to where I'm at, overworked, burnt out, and kind of sad. I am still applying to jobs here and there. I feel like it's like a duty of mine to still try to find a company. Maybe there's a company out there that is the perfect fit and will check all the boxes out for me. So I have not closed off the doors to working for someone else, for going back to my 9 to 5 life. I just want to make sure that I am fully utilizing my time while I'm unemployed and not just sitting around playing games. And if I was sitting around playing games, I would be streaming at least. I'm just saying. But really, I'm just trying to stay sane here. I don't know if it would help anyone who might be in the same similar position than me. Maybe you just need a little bit of change in your life. Who knows? I spent a lot of time on the journaling portion because that's probably the one thing that's helped me out a lot. Just reflection, and I like to write, so that's kind of where it went. That's kind of my unemployment survival guide, and literally what has worked for me in this moment in time. This unemployment time. I don't know if I want to call it unemployment or fun employment, but I don't know. I don't know if unemployment sounds bad or fun employment sounds worse, because it just sounds like I'm not doing anything and chilling out at home, watching TV, kicking my feet up. Hey, you know what? It's just not employment for me. A little bit of both, let's be real here. A little bit of fun and a little bit of fun. Anyways, that was my unemployment survival guide. Let me know if you have any tips for me that I should try out during this time, or what might have worked for you, or what you want to try, or what you would do if you're unemployed. I would love to hear it. And until then, I will see you next week, I guess. Right? We're just throwing things on the wall and seeing what sticks. Is that what we're doing? Yeah, kind of. Oh, if you want to join this journey with me, like and subscribe, I guess. Still so weird to ask.